What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Martin, the lead designer, and I'm back with another dev vlog. In this dev vlog, we're gonna take a sneak peek at base building, but before we do, please keep in mind that I can't show you everything when it comes to base building yet, and that's because we have a very unique base building system which really sets us apart from the other competing survival game titles out there, and we'd like to keep it that way until the game is released. Does that make sense, madam? It does make sense. So let's jump right into it. Base building works in a very similar way to how it did in Origins mod, and that's using blueprints. For those of you that are new here and don't know, Origins mod was a survival modification that we made for a game called Arma 2. It eventually grew into one of the most popular modifications ever made for that game, and so we decided to make our own standalone game using Unreal Engine based on the Origins mod modification for Arma 2. And that's what you're seeing right now. Taviana the Origins is that standalone game that we're making based on the Origins mod modification for Arma 2. So anyway, as I was saying, most base building is done using blueprints, but some things, such as this safe over here, do not require a blueprint. And some things also require a builder's toolbox. So if you remember in one of the previous devlogs where I showed how to repair vehicles, we used the mechanics toolbox for that. Well, for base building, we have a builder's toolbox. And some base building also requires a cement mixer. Now this is a lot to take in, so let's back up a little bit and break it down. Let me pick up this blueprint, and I'll also pick up the safe. So if I open up my inventory, you'll notice that I have 3 items in the inventory. Let's hover the mouse cursor over the old safe to see its description. As you can see, we've got a description of the item, and at the bottom we've got some required building materials. This means that we need to have these building materials in our inventory in order to build this safe. In this case, we need 1 code locker and 1 pair of batteries. And by the way, check out this nice 3D rotating view thing that we added. Pretty nice, huh? I like it. So anyway, let me close the inventory, and as you can see on the table, there's the code locker and there's the pair of batteries. So let me pick those up. And if I open my inventory again, there they are. If I hover the mouse cursor over the level 1 hero house blueprint, and by the way, don't worry about the hero in brackets, that's not important right now, we're going to discuss that in a whole separate video. What is important is that unlike the old safe, which only had required building materials, the level 1 house blueprint also has some required tools, the builder's toolbox and a cement mixer. Allow me to bring your attention down to the bottom right corner where we have 2 boxes, one for the mechanics toolbox and one for the builder's toolbox. As you can see, I currently do not have a mechanics toolbox in my inventory, but I do have a builder's toolbox in my inventory. So when it comes to things like the blueprint for the level 1 hero house, which has a builder's toolbox listed in its required tools, that means that you must have at least the builder's toolbox on its own in your inventory, otherwise you will not be able to build that blueprint or whatever other item that you're trying to build. And I say at least the builder's toolbox on its own because if you'll notice, on the right side of each toolbox we have 6 slots into which we can place tools. These are the tools that we can place into the builder's toolbox. We have a spirit level, some pliers, a hand drill, a saw, a mallet, and a clamp. So as you can see, I already have 4 of those extra tools in my builder's toolbox. And the idea behind these extra tools is that they either speed up the building process or the repair process. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I just had the builder's toolbox on its own in my inventory and I didn't have any of these extra tools in it. All the icons would be white, just like they are in the mechanics toolbox. Well, in that case, it might take me, for example, 4 minutes to build the foundation stage of the level 1 hero house. But if I added 1 extra tool into my builder's toolbox, it might only take me 3.5 minutes to build the foundation stage. If I added another tool, so I would have the builder's toolbox and 2 extra tools in it, it might only take me 3 minutes to build the foundation stage. If I added a third tool, it might only take me 2.5 minutes. If I added another tool, it might only take me 2 minutes, and so on and so forth. I think that you get the gist. And the same applies to repairing vehicles with the mechanic's toolbox. If I hover the mouse cursor over the woodpile, you'll notice that it doesn't have any required tools or any required building materials, which means that we don't need anything else except the woodpile itself to build something, like a fireplace for example. So why don't we go do that now, because I think that we've yapped enough. So to build our fireplace, all we have to do is press the G key on the keyboard to bring up the inventory. Then we'll right click on the woodpile and select Build Campfire. And there we have it. There's that familiar sight from Origins mod. We have the red ghost mesh, which shows us that we cannot build at this location, and a helpful message at the bottom which says, cannot build at this location, too close to another object. And that's because there already is a fireplace at this location. It's right there. Can't really see it very well because it's hidden by the grass. We need to fix that bug. Well, it's not really a bug, but it's kind of a missing feature. It's on the to-do list. We're gonna fix it, guys. Don't worry. And we also have the green ghost mesh, which shows us that we can build at this location. But a new feature in Taviana the Origins, which we did not have in the mod, is that you can now rotate the ghost mesh using your mouse wheel. And to exit building mode, all we have to do is press the escape key, and there we have it. So anyway, let's go back into building mode and try and build this campfire. Let's see what happens if we build the campfire underneath the cow. To build, all we have to do is press the enter key and wait. Now there should be an animation playing while the character builds the campfire, but we don't have the animation yet, so for now he just stands still. But don't worry, we will have an animation. And there it is, there's our campfire. So let's go ahead and light it under the cow and see what happens. I did that mean thing to the cow with a good intention, because I want to talk about conditional statements. You see, any fool can write a program which just lights the fire, but sometimes you come across products which have that je ne sais quoi about them. They have that I don't know what. Well, a big part of that I don't know what are conditional statements. A much better way of lighting a fire would be to first check if the fire can actually be lit. So our first conditional statement could be, is it raining? If it is raining, we'll have another conditional statement, is there a roof above the fire? If there is no roof above the fire, then we can't light the fire. But if there is a roof above the fire, or if it's not raining, then we can light the fire. And then once we light the fire, we should have another conditional statement. Is there a character on top of the fire? And if there is a character on top of the fire, we add damage to the character. And so on and so forth. I think that you get the gist. Allow me to demonstrate. I've built 2 fireplaces, both of which are lit, but one of them is out in the open, whereas the second fireplace is underneath this structure which has a roof. So let's see what happens if I make it rain. I'll go into my cheats here and select rain. And let's see what happens. Well, as you can see, the fireplace that was out in the open has been extinguished by the rain, whereas the one that's hidden underneath the roof is still burning. So let's go ahead and build a safe. I'd say that right here is a good place for it. So to build a safe, we do exactly the same thing we did for the campfire. Open up the inventory, right click on the old safe, and press place safe. So let's choose a nice position for it. I'd say right about there is good. Press the enter key, and again, there's no animation. So let's just wait a while. Anytime now. And there we go. This time, we're prompted to set a code for the safe. After discussing this on our Discord server, we came to the conclusion that the owner of the safe, meaning the player that built the safe, will not be required to enter the code every time that they try to open it, but you can still give the code to your friends so that they can open the safe and access its inventory. So anyway, let's go ahead and set a code for our safe. I'm going to set it to super secure code like 1234 and press the enter button. And there we go, we've set a code for our safe. Now we had a problem in Origins mod. People would have a bunch of base buildings and a bunch of codes and they couldn't remember them. It took me like 5 years to remember my own phone number, so who's gonna remember a bunch of codes for their base buildings in game? So what people used to do is they would get sticky notes, write all the codes on sticky notes, and then stick the sticky notes on their monitor, which isn't a really good solution. So this time around, we've come up with a much better solution. And that is, we now display all your base buildings on the map. As you can see, there's me, there's my safe. And if you hover your mouse cursor over the safe, you can see what type of base building it is, in this case a safe, and you can also see the code. So you'll never forget your code, and you can also share that code with your friends whenever you want so they can access the safe's inventory. I'm going to demonstrate that on this safe that Alex, our lead programmer, built by entering the wrong code. As you can see, I cannot open the safe. Какой код ты установил?
1, 2, 3.
So Alex says that he set the code to 123. So let's go ahead and dig him out here, or dig the safe out. And let's try to enter that code. 1, 2, 3, whoops, not 4. 1, 2, 3, there we go. And as you can see, the safe has opened. And I can now access its inventory. I should also mention that only you can see your base buildings on your own map. Other players will not be able to see your base buildings on their maps. Now the whole point of these safes, of course, is to store your loot in a safe place where it won't be able to be accessed by other players. And what's even better is you can also bury the safe, just like that, and other players won't even be able to see where your safe is. So let's dig it out again. We can also open the safe to access its inventory. As I mentioned, the owners of the safe do not have to enter the code. There we go. The safe is open and now we can access its inventory. And as I mentioned before, if you want your friends to be able to access the inventory of the safe to open it, you can just share the code with them. And there we go. And besides that, we can also dismantle the safe, just like this. And now we can pick it up and take it and place it in a new location. So let's get down to business. Let's build that level 1 hero house. Let me open up the inventory again, and there's the blueprint. Let me hover my mouse over it and bring up the description. So the required tools says that we need a builder's toolbox, which we already have. And it also needs a cement mixer, which I happen to have right here. So building the cement mixer is exactly the same as building anything else. We just right click on it and select build cement mixer. Now we need to build a cement mixer in approximately the place where we want to build our house, and that's because we're going to have to be in the vicinity of the cement mixer to actually build the house. So let's position it where we want it. I'd say right about there is good. I'm going to press the enter key, give it a while to build. Again, there's no animation, so we're just going to stand here and wait. And there we have it. There's the cement mixer. So let's open up the inventory again and check out the required building materials. I'll hover my mouse cursor over the blueprint to bring up the description, and under required building materials we see it says foundation and stage 1. So the way in which most blueprints work is you actually build the structure in stages. So you'll first build the foundation stage, and then on top of that you'll build stage 1, stage 2, and so on and so forth. But we're not going to cover that in this video because remember, we're only taking a sneak peek. I can't show you everything yet. So anyway, the foundation stage requires 25 wood piles, 15 rocks, and 2 cement bags. So what we need to do now is we need to collect those materials and put them into the cement mixer. I'm not going to bore you doing that because that's going to take a long time, so we'll just cut to it. So here I am, and I've placed all the required building materials into the cement mixer. Let me show you that real quick. I'll open up its inventory. And as you can see on the left hand side, I've got 25 wood piles, 15 rocks, 2 cement bags, and a partridge in a pear tree. So what we need to do now is we need to stand in the vicinity of the cement mixer, open up our inventory, right click on the blueprint that we want to build, and simply press build. Now it's very important that we stand in the vicinity of the cement mixer, otherwise this will not work. Let me demonstrate that to you. I'm going to run really far away from the cement mixer and we'll try to build. Let's see here, probably not far enough. Probably far enough, but just to be safe, we'll run even further. I'd say that it shouldn't work here, so let's open up the inventory, press build, and as you can see, it says cannot build at this location, you are too far from a cement mixer. So let's run back to the cement mixer. So here we are, back at the cement mixer, and we're gonna build for real this time. So let me open up the inventory again, press build, and let's position our foundation stage somewhere nice. You know what, I'd say right there is nice. So I'm gonna hit the enter key now, and the cement mixer is gonna do its thing, and at the end of it, it's gonna disappear, and our foundation stage is gonna appear. And there we go, the cement mixer is doing its thing. Let's give it a while. So there we are, the cement mixer has disappeared, our foundation stage has appeared, and as you can see, we've got the same grass issue that we had with the campfire, but as I said, don't worry, we're gonna try and fix that. So now that we've built the foundation stage, if I open up the inventory, you'll notice that the blueprint is gone. If you want to build another house, you have to find another blueprint. So what we would need to do from this point forward to build stage 1 is we would have to add the required building materials for stage 1 into the foundation layer. It's a shame I don't have the blueprint to show you. Hold on, I'll spawn it again. Building materials. There it is. So, if we take a look at the blueprint's description again, we'll see that stage 1 requires 35 wood piles, 25 rocks, 1 code locker, 1 pair of batteries, and 4 cement bags. So what we would have to do going forward is we would have to place all those building materials into the foundation. And a problem that we had in Origins mod is that you had to look for the inventory point of the foundation like this, and it would take a really long time and be hard to find. So we've solved that problem by adding this wheelbarrow. All you have to do is you have to come up to the wheelbarrow and place all the building materials into the wheelbarrow. But anyway, we're going to talk about all of that stuff later. That's it for this video. If you like what we're doing here, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. And please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/TavianaOrigins. And I'll catch you guys next time.